To another episode of Real Ball Talk. Hope everyone is blessed and well. What are you saying, Rash?
Good, alhamdulillah. I'm good. Happy to be here, bro. Can't wait to get into this week's football matches. Got a couple things to discuss. So yeah, man, I'm doing good. Alhamdulillah.
Good. And Jeff, how are you, bro?
All good, man. Can't complain, man. Start of the week and all that jazz, man. Back to work. And bank holiday is coming, so that's never a bad thing.
Yeah, no, bank holiday for sure. I don't know who will be hitting up Carnival, but yeah, man, I'm sure a couple of people will be hitting it up, man. This Monday.
Watch snaps.
Yeah, trust me. But listen, Jalil is in Barcelona, so shout out Jalil. I know he's there with the fam, so I hope you're enjoying yourself out there, brother. So big him up every time, and yeah, smash the likes, people, as always, and subscribe to RBT. But yeah, man, let's get straight into it. Let's start off with Tottenham Man United. Spurs winning the game 2-0. The first half was actually quite balanced. I think United probably were the better side first half. Had a couple of chances to go ahead, especially Bruno's header, which he should have slotted. Rashford had a chance. They could have had a penalty for handball. I thought it was a penalty. But second half, Spurs completely took over the game, dominated, played through them, could have scored 3 or 4 goals. And in the end, I think everyone will agree they deserve to win. After that game, Rash, there's been quite a bit of talk about United, about Ten Hag. Now, neither me or you had them in the top 4. And we had some early corn for that. I think what we've seen in the first 2 weeks doesn't make us worried at all about our prediction. But yeah, like, what do you think? Because I guess someone asked the question, like, why are Spurs already playing better football than United have been able to play in a whole year under Ten Hag? Like, how is that possible? So what do you think it is that's not quite clicking at Man United in your perspective, from your perspective?
Well, to be honest, I think it's about the midfield. United since they've left Ferguson, they've always seemed to have put a really, really good midfielder in the midfield, but then surrounded by trash. Like you had Pogba in the midfield, and then you had him playing with people like Fellaini, and I think even McTominay was even there at the time as well. And now you've got Casemiro in the midfield as well, a proven quality player. Everyone knows his ability and very dangerous. He can do pinpoint passing, strong tackler, and a leader. But then you've got people like Eriksen with him, who has passed his best. You've got McTominay as well. You've also got Fred, who's still there, and then you've got the new saviour to Old Trafford, the new number 7, Mason Mount, who again is just not complimentary of the type of player that Casemiro is. And so when you've got someone who's good, I mean, obviously you've got Bruno as well there, all of which none of them are really good to me in regards to passing, positioning, and discipline. And you've got just this one player here who's surrounded by a bunch of clowns in reality. So when you don't have a strong midfield, and the thing is that Man United's defense isn't bad. They've got some players in the defense that have experience. You've got Varane, who's a Champions League winner, played at the highest levels in his career. You've got Martinez, World Cup winner, who's actually turned out to be a very good signing for Manchester United. And then obviously you've got the fullbacks, you've got Shaw, and you've even got Wan-Bissaka, who's not bad. He's not a bad tackler and very difficult to get past. Probably one of the best one-on-one defenders that there is in the Premier League. But when you've got nothing in front of you to install a bit of confidence in regards to defensive play in front of the defense, and then in build-up play as well, you haven't got players who have that quality to take the ball forward and lead that can lead something devastating in attack, then you've kind of got a gridlock of you've just basically got a ceiling that you just can't, especially in regards to transition from defense to attack. So I think the midfield is quite weak. Ten Hag hasn't quite figured it out, which most of Man United fans have figured out, and most of us watching has figured it out. But he seems to be trying the same type of players, the same type of play that isn't really suited for the Premier League. The difference between them and the Tottenham is that Tottenham already, they've kind of got a foundation of how they played beforehand. They know each other. They've added, what's the boy's name from Leicester?
Who Tottenham?
Yeah,
Madison.
Yeah, they added Madison, who's a top player as well. Very creative, confident on the ball, and can pull a goal out or an assist out of nowhere as well. Really, I think Tottenham are playing better because they've kind of geared their team and set it up constantly around pushing the ball towards Kane. And that's been the overall objective in most matches throughout years. But now they're being forced to play a team game where they are building up as a team and everyone is involved in order to push the play up, in order to attack. And they've seemed to have already clicked, and they know the mission, they know the task, and they're able to carry it out. And they've already started the season quite well, looking quite good, actually. I'm not going to lie. And up against a Man United who are still in a bit of confusion in regards to what they have to do, who's going to be the ball carrier, who's going to be the person to score. Their forwards ain't really convincing. We've got the Brazilian lad who just hasn't hit the ground running at all. I'm not even going to mention his name. You've got Rashford, who, when he's playing through the centre, just looks lost. That's just not his position. He's got to be playing on the left, cutting in to the middle. That's where he's played his best football. Ten Hag really just needs to sort it out. He needs to play the players in their best positions, and he needs to make sure that he puts the best players on the pitch in order to bring out some sort of result that's going to be gratifying to the style and the players that they have on the pitch.
Yeah, no, well said. And I think, like you said, it's about a playing style that suits the players that he has. But what I think, because I think when Ten Hag joined United, we'd seen his Ajax teams and we'd seen how they played football, and we automatically thought that that's the type of manager he was. But we haven't really seen him try to do that at United. I don't feel like. I feel like he's gone more towards like pace and power, which is fair enough. But then, I don't know, Jeff, it looks like he's struggling to, like Rash said, the point that he made is key. Their midfield is completely unbalanced. It's completely lacking in discipline. And even, to be honest, I feel like you can start to see it with Casemiro, because I'm sure at one point we've all played in, whether it's 7-a-side or 11-a-side, in a midfield that's completely all over the place. And when you feel exposed in midfield, you just start running into areas to try and impact the game, and then you just end up getting absolutely cooked. And Casemiro was doing that at times on Saturday. He was trying to press Madison on like the right side when he was drifting in his own half, and then just getting spun and cooked, and now nobody's in the middle. And it's like United, like if United are not careful, like they've got Arsenal in a couple of weeks. Now, depending on the form that Arsenal are in and what United show up, like United could get a slapping from one of these teams soon if they're not careful. So what do you think, Jeff?
Kind of agree with the midfield point. Like, there's a stat where it says Casemiro has been dribbled past 7 times, Bruno 6, and Mount 4, and they're all at the top of the midfielders that have been dribbled past. So that kind of speaks to what's going on in the middle of the pitch. Like, sometimes those stats are just nonsensical, but sometimes it fits, and it fits. Like, see people saying like Casemiro is like past it. I don't think that. I just don't think the protection's good enough. Like, that 3 at this moment isn't working. Like, Mount's out until the international break I just saw. So maybe Yeah, I just saw it now. So maybe that would help. Because now they don't feel like they have to play their new signing. Like you get to revert to something you were doing before, and maybe that will give you like a little bit more protection. Because the moment Casemiro was just exposed, like Maddison was having a field day, Basuma was having a field day, Sarr was having a field day. I haven't seen Sarr play like that once in the Premier League. He's having fun. Basuma went back to Brighton. Basuma, like this wasn't last year. Basuma. Like they were overpowering Man United. Like literally, a player would pick up on like the right or left hand side and just run 20 yards with the ball, unopposed, shake off whoever's behind them and go. So yeah, that midfield is a bad thing. But then also, like Man United, a lot of the time they'll have it's just 2 games in. If I was a Man United fan, I'll be worried about Anthony more so than Sancho. Because
let's speak on the Anthony one, man, because I can't lie. The guy is,
my God,
carry on Anthony, man. Carry on Anthony.
This is a really bad start to the season for him, because first game against, who did they play? Wolves?
Yeah, Wolves.
It was Wolves, right? He saw enough of the ball to do something. Like first few times, you're like, all right, cool. Maybe it's just first game jitters or something. He was just giving the ball away and not really being the most positive. You're kind of running towards your guy and then turning away last minute and just giving the safe option. So like, okay, maybe he'll get better against Spurs. So again, it was another poor display, wasteful, like just not doing anything on the ball. Like like we can at this point you can compare him to Pepe.
I think that's harsh on Pepe.
I genuinely think that's harsh on Pepe.
And Pepe had a way better first year, and second year, if Anthony continues at the rate he's going to go down as one of the biggest flops. Like Sancho, maybe it's because I like the guy. I still give him a little shot. Maybe it's succeeding. Maybe he's got like a 5% chance. Anthony, yours is dwindling fast. Like I don't know what's going on. Like you're literally just running to people. You're running towards the left back and just like, you know what? I'm scared. I'm gonna pass it every time.
Pass it back. Yep.
Every time. It's like, all right. First season you get a blind. I think he got 4 and 25. It's like, okay, Man United weren't the best. They weren't the most consistent throughout the season.
Context.
Yeah.
He scored 3 in his first 3, so 1 in his last 24.
My God. Okay, so 1 in your last 24 that stinks, to be honest. That's just all it does is it stinks. So Anthony, I don't know, man. Like you're gonna make Man United go to the transfer market because you're not doing anything out there, or you're gonna make Garnacho move to the right or something because you are doing nothing to warrant your position right now. Like you're literally stinking up the place out there. 2 games in, like 2 bad displays. Like you had a yellow card. You just looked out of sorts, man. And I'm actually at a loss for words. I don't know what to say about him. Like, do you guys have anything you want to say about him? Because I'm kind of done. I don't know.
I mean, you know what it is with Anthony? Like for me, what killed me is when he did that flip flap in the first half and just somehow managed to stand still. I've never seen that before.
Bro, these technical wingers with skills but don't take anyone on. So what were you doing the skills for growing up? Like, what were you? Was it just a show-off thing? Like, you're not dynamic at all with the skills. You're literally like doing what John said. You're just standing still, doing nonsense. Like,
but the thing is, Jeff,
nonsense.
We all know these type of players, like from playing 5-a-side, 7-a-side, 9-a-side, 11-a-side. There's always one guy who's full of skills, full of skills, can do the maddest things. But when you put them on a pitch, all of a sudden you realize that they don't have a football brain.
Jeremy Lynch.
Don't know Jeremy Lynch, but Jeremy Lynch. You
know the guy from F2, the guy who does F2. All the tricks.
Oh, Jeremy Lynch, exactly.
Exactly.
Now you see these brothers who's practiced their skills day in and day out, and being Brazilian, I guess it's just part of the makeup for you to have to have this in your locker. But to not have a football brain, to not know when to make your runs, when to make the passes, how to even get in behind the defender. Your primary role is to carry the ball forward and get the team up as far up the pitch as possible in order to play a ball in, or for you them to cut inside, which you do quite well, and pop a shot. But that hasn't worked since the beginning of last season. You understand? So I think that we've seen the best of Anthony. I don't think there's more to come, unless there's going to be a specific coach who comes in, like Arteta did for Manchester City, to work on their wingers and to show them how to be a good winger, and to pull off the form of the likes of Raheem Sterling and these type of players. I just don't think that anything's going to come from Anthony. I already think he's one of the biggest flops Man United have bought already. Big waste of money. Man United fans are getting sick of him already. I mean, they're almost defending him with their tongue in their cheek. You know, like when you got like a bad breed kid and you just know he's a bad breed and everyone's cussing, well, why'd your kid bad? You know what I'm saying? You're just making excuses for him and saying, well, do you know what? You know, he's been through he's been through a lot. He's had a rough start to life. Do you know what I'm trying to say?
Oh,
it's just not going to happen. It's not going to happen. To me, I think they should start really investing in Sancho, making him be the player that we know that he can be, or they need to really think about bringing in someone new.
Listen, boy, Anthony, he didn't learn these tricks in the favelas, boy. Like, see, like Ronaldinho and that, those were survival tricks. Like,
and that's what I mean.
Like, I need to get past my man. Like, I don't know where Anthony learned these tricks. I don't know, because you don't want to go past no one.
He grew up in the suburbs. It's clear. He wasn't with the man them trying to break his legs.
Yeah. You weren't playing with stones, bare feet. Like, that wasn't happening.
He wasn't doing kickouts with mangoes and those things like that. That wasn't his history.
Bro, he's just out there in the greenery, playing in like the vineyard or something, man. Because I don't know what's going. Like, what do you want to do? Like, I don't know what your end goal is with these tricks. Because like he does that a lot, like a flip flap, and then the flip flap goes like 6 inches to the left, and the defender's still in the same place. You haven't drawn the defender out. There's no overlap that you're trying to create. You're not trying to cut inside. So what are you doing the trick for? You do a flip flap to then pass back.
Man,
you then go back to Casemiro.
Bro, his face.
Bro, he's a showman, isn't he? He's a showman.
But this is what I'm saying. It's like his face and his body show different things. Do you know what I'm trying to say? His body is fearful when he's up against a defender. Doesn't know what to do. He retreats. But his face, that looks mean. He looks like he can rock a few guys, but no.
Test his jaw, man. I mean,
Test
one
his
of them
jaw.
ones. Like, from time that clip keeps circulating again. From time you're scared of Baba Rahman, I don't know what to tell you, bro. Like, you looked at Baba Rahman and went back. Like, Baba Rahman was at Chelsea for like 7 years. He played like 7 games. He doesn't play. Like, you're playing like Reddit or something, bro. These are the games that are meant to be fun. Like, I'm gonna practicing. It's like, all right, cool. We're playing against the.
Oh yeah, you're back now. Yeah, you are now.
I don't know what the hell happened there. But yeah, I was saying, like, Kane, when them man are like having fun, they're playing against these scrubs like a Farnborough or something. They're having a whole heap of fun. They're practicing. They're using their left foot for like 80-yard passes. They're trying anything. Like Xabi Alonso scored from 80 yards against Luton. This Anthony guy is one-on-one with Baba Rahman, and you're scared. Like,
I remember that.
Like, what? I don't understand. I really don't get it here.
But do you not see a kind of like a trend happening with Manchester United's wingers as well when it comes to this? I mean, there was a lot of problems with Sancho as well in his first season. I mean, he would get up against defenders and all of a sudden he would retreat. It's like he was scared to take players on. The only player who's not afraid to take players on is Marcus Rashford. And Garnacho, at the moment, Garnacho is fearless. The only thing is that Garnacho isn't as good as he thinks he is just yet. I think he
He's a
actually
little
can
way
be,
off.
yeah, I think he can be a very good player
100.
if he works on it. But right now, I think he's better than he thinks he is. But it's easy to think that you're that good when you look at your peers and you're seeing an Anthony and you're seeing the Sancho and you're seeing the performances that they're pulling out. Of course, you're going to think you're good.
Stinking up the place. Like Sancho and Anthony, the same kind of winger in a way. Like they depend on overlaps. They like to drift in field. Sancho is more like a technical winger. Anthony, in the end, is seeming like the same kind of thing. Like Anthony has a whole bunch of tricks. Loves to run at people but then run away. And then you look at like Garnacho, he's like more in the Rashford dynamic. Like I'm trying to get past you. That's my objective today. I'm trying to go past you. I don't care if it's on the outside of you or the inside of you. I'm going past. So Man United need that on the right hand side because you probably got the same style of winger a bit too much. Like even Pellistri, like I know he's probably going to end up going on loan to like Sheffield United. He seems like more of the same. Like just one of those slender wingers who doesn't really want to go past people, but they're very, very good sound technically. Now, the only good thing about Anthony is his tracking back. That's kind of why he's starting at the moment because he helps Wan-Bissaka a bit. But in terms of like an attacking threat, he's got like, listen, man, there's probably like a week left of the window. If I'm Ten Hag, I'll see who I can get on loan maybe because this guy needs to be challenged for one because he's the primary right winger out there.
Yeah, like the mad thing is Ten Hag looks stressed right now.
Oh, I mean, we got to speak about him too because maybe he isn't as good as we thought he was.
Yeah,
maybe. Because I see a lot of fans saying it, and I don't tend to agree with him a lot of the time because sometimes it's overreactive because it's like 2 games in, but then a lot of them are saying like, listen, man, like. You played. I think Man United played more preseason games than anybody. They've had many behind closed door games, and they were playing several games throughout the summer. So everyone should be match fit. They look tired. They look lethargic. They look out of ideas. The build up is bad. Like even that 3 of Casemiro, Bruno, and Mount, they played a lot of preseason, and on paper. That's kind of why I based my decision of top 4 because it's like, okay, cool. You got Casemiro as an anchor. You got Mount, who can kind of do both. You got Bruno, who to a degree can kind of do both. He doesn't shy away from defensive responsibilities. You're looking at those 3. You're thinking, okay, there's some goals, there's some assists, and there's some steal in here. They should be all right. But it's like they haven't played together. It's like they're strangers. It's like. You spent 60 mil on Mount, but you still need a first phase midfielder, if that makes sense. Like you haven't got a build up. Like you just got Mount and Bruno who are good at like breaking into the box. Bruno who is very, very ambitious. It doesn't always work, but you've got no one to recycle the ball. Like Casemiro is even trying to be the point person. Like he got props for it last season. I've given him props for it because in moderation is good. But he's not meant to be the guy you give the ball to and he's meant to pull strings. No, if he ends up pulling strings, great. But that's kind of like what Liverpool happened with Liverpool at Henderson towards the end. It's like Henderson had some success with some long range passes, and all of a sudden you thought you were Thiago. No, my guy, you're not that good.
But this is the thing. This is what pushed my judgment on Manchester United. I watched them preseason, and I even said, look, it's not good to kind of like judge people on their preseason because you never know. But I could already see that they just wasn't going to be what certain people thought they were going to be this season. I could see that Mount was the worst signing that they could have done, and most Manchester United fans also knew that Mount wasn't a very good signing. And to be honest, when you saw him play 2 games in, the request for another midfielder should have already been coming in. It should have been on the top of the agenda as well as a forward. I don't understand why you go a whole season basically without a real striker. Okay, you had Weghorst in there, which we all saw the results of his stats, how good he was last season. Okay, so primary, look, one thing we need is a killer up front. All right? Maybe they thought, I'm not even going to say it, but maybe they thought certain man was coming back. Do you know what I'm trying to say?
Oh, Mr. Green.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
You know what I mean? But clearly, as new reports have come out, he's not coming back. All right?
Done deal.
So you should know that this is what you need. And you know what? When you know that you've got a slinger up front, a real goal slinger, it does something to the motivation of the people around you. It does something to the ambition of the midfielders and the wide men as well, knowing that they have a clear target and a clear goal for running forward, not just running into the space and thinking, okay, what do I do now? Because we've got no one in the box. I'm going to have to pass it back to someone in the midfield who's probably going to just have a long shot and hope that one of these go in. This ain't football. It's definitely not the football of Manchester United that we're witness to seeing.
No, totally. And I think you're both right. I think Ten Hag has to be questioned because the signings are all his. Anthony looks like a clear flop. I mean, he just looks atrocious. And that's his signing. He had that Elise release clause was there last summer. He could have gone for it then. He didn't. He chose to go for Anthony. That's his choice. So again, that's on him. Mount is on him. You look at, like you said, Jeff, they don't have a player, even like a Basuma type, that can pick up the ball from deep and not only do long passes, but is very comfortable at doing repetitive short passes, which is very much needed in today's game.
Yep, you need to draw people
You
out.
look at it, Ten Hag had the option. Kovacic, 25 million. Instead, he said, nah, I'm going to go Mount, 55 million. And don't get me wrong, for Kovacic, I think he's lucky that Man City are the ones that went in for him because he fits into the philosophy like glue. But that's the type of profile of player United should have gone for. And there's no excuse for why they didn't. So I'm not saying Ten Hag out or anything, but I do think he needs to be questioned. And for those that thought, is this philosophy very much like Pep's? I think we do have to start seeing him for who he is. And I don't think his philosophy is like that. I think his one is to try to be more aggressive, direct, and go through pace, power. But he's struggling to implement it at the moment. So look at what Agner's doing at Spurs. They're playing some really good football. And they were under Conte last year playing some absolutely horrible stuff.
It's impressive. It's an impressive change so far, but I will say with Spurs, they are going to get punished too. I know. That defensive partnership. I know I don't mind Van der Ven. I actually think he's all right, but him and Romero together is a recipe for disaster. Like the way Bruno and Rashford ghosted in 2-3 times, and then they were wasteful. Like it's just like, yeah, if you're playing against a better team, you're going to get absolutely pulverized because that Bruno header should have gone in. Rashford had 2, if I remember. Mm-hmm. And then there was another one where Rashford was onside and the final ball just weren't good enough. So Spurs, and then their goalie had a great game. So it's one of those where, like, don't get me wrong, Spurs, you deserve kudos on your win, but listen, man, if I understand Anger's getting his praise first 2 games, but defensively, you guys don't look good either.
No, they don't. And it's funny with Romero because beginning of last season, I think the end of the one before, he was getting a lot of praise. But the more and more I watch him, the less and less I like him. The more I watch him, like he's very rash. He's very rash. Too many times the ball goes around him and he tries to intercept it by slide tackling, which is just stupid. So yeah, I'm not a huge fan of him anymore. Like I know he's a World Cup winner, but I mean I couldn't care less.
He's just one of them. Sometimes the first season judgment, like it goes a bit overboard, man. Like I said Moreira's looking like a top 5, top 6 center back in the league.
Yeah.
How wrong could I have been, boy?
Yep.
He's rash.
Yeah. No, agreed. Let me read some comments. Big up Falak in the building saying good evening, beautiful people. John, Jeff, and Rash. What's good?
Where's Jalil hiding? Jalil is in Barcelona, enjoying life. So shout out Jalil.
Shout out to you.
OMG, how crap were United? Please laugh with me. Big up my guy Renzo. Hope you're blessed, bro. Saying, does Anthony have a high ceiling?
Maybe in his yard.
Maybe in his yard because he probably has a mansion. So shout him out.
Yeah, salute, man. Football, that remains to be seen, man. Stay tuned.
Yeah, stay tuned. Stay tuned. Do you want to go coach them or give them tips? Because for real, I saw bits of it and gave up. Yeah, to be honest, I don't think any one of us can rescue Anthony. The thing is, old Brazilian players are a threat. This boy is playing as if he's playing five-a-side on the street. I don't know what Anthony's doing, to be honest.
Even if I don't think it's five-a-side on the street, that's too much credit because you have to do stuff.
Trust me, them men are playing their little brother. They're playing their little brother.
Yeah, exactly. Big up my guy Ray. Hope you're blessed, bro. Saying United need to restore Martial. Great player, just lacking confidence. I mean, bro, I'm Martial's number one fan. Not number one fan, but I really like him. But I mean, that went like 3 years ago. No offense, like the guys. But I mean, as a fourth sub, yeah, no complaints. But yeah,
I wouldn't even want him there.
Although he's still better up front than Rashford, because Rashford up front is just wasted completely.
Is he though? Martial doesn't even look like he wants to play. Like he's one of them, man. Like he's been one of the you can tell he's probably one of the best at his age group growing up. And then he got to a certain point, and then when things ain't going exactly the way they're meant to go for him, he just goes into a ball, into a cocoon. He's one of these new age guys, man.
Yeah,
like, I'm tired of him. I'm tired.
I think he's gonna. I think he'll end up at Saudi because I think physically he's cooked. Like some of the moves he tries to do some of those old Martial moves, and it's like, bro, this is on slow motion, bro. Like you are physically cooked. So
imagine at 27.
Yeah, I think so.
Martial, man. I like Martial.
He's got talent, but like I think physically he's done, and if they can get any money for him, they might be able to get for 15 million. I mean, I saw someone in Saudi Arabia bid 32 million for the Paul brother from Argentina. So if he can command 32 million, Martial could command 15 or something. But yeah, let's see. I reckon he'll go Saudi.
Yeah, he needs a lifeline out of here because he's drowning.
He's done right now. But big up Martial anyway. Ed saying, big up Ed in the building saying, I think the win yesterday secured the title for Arsenal.
Oh man, this guy, bro.
We're not there yet. We're not there yet.
Race, big up Race saying Matoma's a baller. Why isn't he at Arsenal?
I'd love him.
I think we just got a lot of players on that left-hand side, man.
Yeah, we do. But hey, if you ask me, do I want Matoma to? Hey, let him and Martinelli scrap it out. I have no problem. Matoma is cold. Like
I don't get why nobody's gone in for him.
Because he's probably like in a window where they lost a couple men, right, Brighton?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So it's probably just one of those ones where, first of all, you don't even know what to charge. Right now, you got 115 for Caicedo. I don't know what they're gonna charge for Matoma.
It's crazy because they've already quoted anyone wants Ferguson. You better be ready to pay 100 million
flat. And the guys, he's played like 20 games, like Premier League games. Matoma has been tearing up that left side for a year now.
Oh yeah,
that goal the other day was like you can when you say he went to uni for dribbling or whatever, you can see it.
He did a dissertation. His dissertation was on the skill, the art of dribbling.
Yeah,
because he's ghosting people out there. Like he ghosted Semedo. He was gone.
I think the only person
I take him out Arsenal. I think he'd be really good at Arsenal. I can't lie.
He'd be dangerous.
I think
he'd be very dangerous.
But not even just Arsenal. I can't lie. Like I think even at City, man. Like anyway. as much as I love Grealish. If I'm City, I might go. I think he might do better there than Grealish.
Yeah, bruv. And you know what? It probably will be only City in the Premier League that will be able to afford him because when you're trying to buy a player from Dividend FC, bruv, it's just impossible, bruv, to get a good price. I don't think no one's going to be able to afford what they're going to put up for him. But I think the only person this weekend only winger I saw this weekend on smoke or being able to pass players the way that he did was Raheem Sterling at the weekend.
Oh my
Let-
days.
Game.
And
That was a
let-
throwback.
let's talk about that game next because I think overall the balance of play, I think Chelsea probably deserved to win. But West Ham were very clinical. A few things about Chelsea that I saw before I come to you, Rash. That the Sassy guy, my goodness me, he is a horrendous footballer.
Awful.
So they've been absolutely done over there. He is an accident waiting to happen. Sterling, I can't lie, yeah. I was watching it with my brothers. Sterling first half, we genuinely were wondering if they were signing his boost that was giving him extra speed. Because it didn't look normal at times how quick he was. It was not normal. And this is the thing about Sterling. Sterling always talks about how he loves the left, his left is preference. But Sterling is one of those few right-footed guys left in football that knows how to play on their side of their strong foot.
Mm-hmm.
He knows how to attack you, wait, go past you because I've got the enough burst to either create an angle for a cross or suck you in where I can take another little touch and get to the byline. That's why Sterling on the right for me, Chelsea, if he plays like that, obviously calm. But it's unfair to expect that every week. But he was sensational. On Sunday. Like first half, an absolute joke. I can't even lie. Things from Jackson. I saw a lot of good things from him. He does like to drift a bit too much sometimes, which is a slight problem. Enzo, I thought was good until the penalty miss. Caicedo looked like he hasn't played football since last May. He just looked off it from the start. Like
Bad cameo, man. Bad cameo.
Bad cameo. And then obviously shout out my youngest brother William, but his boy Mudryk. Yeesh.
I like Mudryk, but geez, yeah.
It wasn't looking good out there. I can't lie.
Yeah.
Not the best, man.
So, but yeah, Rash, what did you take away from the game?
It was an entertaining one, and I was actually surprised that Chelsea didn't manage to score a couple goals in the first half. As you said, Raheem Sterling, man, that guy was on fire. And I love it when Raheem performs because every time he performs, not only aesthetically does it look sick to watch, you know what I'm trying to say, and it's a good thing for the children to look to and say, listen, you see how he's moving. Do you see the runs that he's making in? Do you see him cutting in and then cutting back out, pulling the defender forward in order to create that space in order to make the runs in behind? That is how you need to be a player if you're going to play on the wing. Like that is like his game was amazing. It's like you're right. His pace was crazy. His ball control is top notch. He's just there when it comes to the intelligence of the game, you know. And him and Jackson together they looked dangerous. They looked dangerous when them two was going up in the attack, and I'll be fearful of them if I was any defender. I think Jackson just needs to work on being a bit more clinical. Do you know what I mean? He's probably still getting used to life up over at Chelsea. Do you know what I mean? A lot has been put on his shoulders, a lot of responsibility, and he's just probably eager to impress, which is making him not really type of form that we know that he can bring to the game. But Sterling, yeah, definitely been eating that hard food, man. That boy has got some energy. He's got some speed. Like I think he's going to be very, very, very dangerous this season. A lot of teams need to watch out for him. I think in reality, Chelsea now they look pretty flat to me in some aspects because I think the only danger coming from Chelsea really was Sterling, Jackson, Chukwuemeka,
yeah.
Yeah.
Chukwuemeka, yeah.
One more time for the
Chukwuemeka. Chukwemeka.
I call him Carney, bro. It's easier.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I call him Carney sometimes, but it feels, I can't lie, like, obviously no racism intended, but it feels weird to call him Carney, man. It feels like a white man's name, man. I can't even lie.
All right, so let's just call him Chuka. You men know who I'm talking about.
Facts.
Like
Yeah,
when he was
Chuka,
on the
yeah.
pitch, when he was on the pitch, bit erratic in aspects. I mean, he got himself injured in reality because he was putting himself about and putting in his foot where it really doesn't belong a lot of the time. But brilliant goal from him. Great little drop off the shoulder and cutting.
Yeah, what a goal.
Classic movements
Sure.
there, which you want to teach your youngers. Do you know what I mean? How to get past a defender and fake them. But yeah, besides him, Sterling, and Jackson, the rest of the team seemed pretty flat and didn't really have a lot of creative play going between them. And I think that was down to Aston Villa's setup. West Ham's setup, where they were making it very difficult to come through the middle. Gallagher always is going to put in a shift regardless. He's going to put himself about. He's going to win balls. He's going to try and get the ball forwarded. I think Enzo was quite quiet, especially compared to last week. I didn't really see too much from him. I wasn't really too impressed with his game at all. Chilwell, I think Chilwell is quite it's quite obvious with his play now. You just know what he's going to do. You know what you're going to get from him. And as long as you get a defender on him on the back post, he's kind of redundant in regards to attacking threat. I mean, he did have his moments, but it's the cohesion of Chelsea's team at the moment that's just not quite there, you know. And you can tell that they're new. They're still trying to gel. They're still trying to probably adapt to Poch's ideas. He looked very frustrated on the sidelines as well. And when you look to their bench and you're saying to yourself, okay, we've got £115 million man on the bench. You've got a £90 million man on the bench. You know, if all fails, we can bring on these two and something's good's going to happen. No, nothing good happened. Yeah, Mudryk came on and looked awful. Like, I just don't understand how that is exactly the same player that we saw in the Ukraine compared to the player that we have here in England. I just don't understand his style of football and his intelligence on the ball is just so basic, you know. And certain things that you think, you know, like, yeah, you should know. Like when the ball came across that Sterling put it to the back post, you're thinking, okay, head over the ball. You know what I mean? He even side-footed it for safety. Do you know what I mean? But went all the way back to Sterling. Ended up being a 1-2. You're just like, okay, what's going on with this brother? He runs the ball to the byline and runs it off the pitch, you know? So you're just like, okay, this is terrible from Chelsea. You know, they're investing in a lot of players that no one really knows their real pedigree. You know, they're just anyone who's in for anyone, they'd say, no, we want them, so we're going to get them first. And it just seems like that kind of like bullish kind of tactics that, what's his name? What's their owner's name?
Bowley.
Yeah. Bowley's trying to come in on some Suge Knight tactics. Do you know what I'm trying to say? Anyone who you like, we're gonna get, and we're gonna lock them down for 8 years. You ain't going nowhere, type of mentality. But now he's got a problem on his hand because he's stuck with a bunch of players that, you know, on Football Manager and on FIFA, man, they can you know, burst through ceilings and become some great players. But in reality, these are players that need a lot of work, especially in the Premier League. So when it comes to the investments that they've made, I think they've been quite greedy. I've also think they've been quite knee-jerk reactions as well to other teams. And I think other teams have actually played off on that, knowing that that's what they're going to do and made Chelsea do certain things that, you know, just isn't intelligent. They've invested in a Caicedo who's had really like one brilliant season in the Premier League. Lavia, who's shown one good season in the Premier League. Mudryk, who was playing excellent football in a place where there isn't really much great talent. You know, you got Enzo, who had a great World Cup, hasn't been able to replicate anything like that since he's come. To be honest, I think that their strategy of buying is all over the place. They definitely have talented players who can become good with the right type of work and the right type of training and coaching behind them. But with such a big squad, will they be able to invest that time into these players individually to make them become those players? Do they have enough time to gel as a team before they realize, hold on a second, we're 15th in the league? You know, these are things that are real talking points in regards to Chelsea, and it's a worry for them. But no doubt that if they can get their shit together, that they're going to be a good squad because they've got players that have good potential. But you got to have the right people behind them doing the coaching, the training, the tactics. You've got to give them time, which a Chelsea club just doesn't. He spent over £1 billion in the market, and you need results. Otherwise, that FFP is going to come knocking on your door, and we could be seeing the likes of 15-point deductions or even relegation if they don't hit the numbers that they need to. So, you know. But shout out to West Ham, man. They did a job. They went down to 10 men. Very rash from the Moroccan player. I forgot his name. Got his goal.
Oh, Agued, yeah.
Yeah, Agued. He got his goal, which was a very good header. You know, he managed to, I think he gave Gallagher a little push in the back to get off of him there and get it in. The keeper had no chance. But then he was a bit rash in his challenging. We saw the same from Emerson as well. I thought he was going to pick up a red card during the game because he was making some challenges that just seemed pretty just faultless. But you know, when they went down to 10 men, they knew what they had to do. That man Antonio, he always knows the job that is assigned to him. Hold the ball up, take the ball up as far as you can, and on the odd occasional, if you can get a chance to attack and you're through, hit that shot. And he did that. What a fantastic goal from Antonio. So really good resilience shown by West Ham, and to come up against the odds as well. Everyone was thinking Chelsea's going to smash them. So that they're just not here to show up. They're here to play football and to try and win games. And that was really good. And it was a good performance as well for the player that Manchester City are trying to sign at the moment. His name just gone out of my head. Paqueta, yeah, talented player. I think he's really good, but he's shown what he can do. He showed great leadership actually in that game. Great footballing tactics and stepped up to take that penalty as well. Great penalty as well. Gave him the eyes, gave him the other fake eyes, and then hit it in the place where he originally looked. That's from him. So yeah, man, well done for West Ham for pulling that one out the bag.
Yeah, no, well said. And we've got 9 people in the building, so every single person that's live right now, make sure you smash a like. If you're new, subscribe to RBT. But as Rash said, he spoke a little bit about Mudryk there, and that's the thing with Mudryk that concerns me a little bit, Jeff, is that he's 22, and let's put this disclaimer, because a lot of people nowadays act like 22 is old or something. 22 is not old. There's different 22 years old though. There's a 22 like a Rashford, who when he was 22 had played like 4 years of Premier League, so he's experienced, but he's still young. And then you got a Mudryk, who sometimes, I'm going to be honest, plays like he's 18. Very erratic, very raw in his decision making. Now he needs a run of games, as I'm sure my youngest brother will tell me. He needs a run of games, for sure. I do believe he has talent, but he does need to work on a lot of things.
He's heavy investment in time and you know what I mean, in coaching. You know, it's different to play in the Premier League. Everyone knows what he can possibly be. You know, we've seen him in the Champions League, so we've seen him tear up a couple of big teams. But you just need to put in that time to develop these players. But with such a big squad, I just don't know if Chelsea's got it.
Yeah, it's about whether there's the patience there too. So, but let me read some comments before I come to Jeff. We got 12 people in the building now. Big up everyone. Smash the likes and subscribe to RBT. Big up Ray saying Jackson is good. I would give Lukaku one more chance. Chelsea needs a proven goal scorer. Yeah, I can't lie, man. I think that Lukaku ship has sailed, and yeah, I don't know. He's probably going to end up in Saudi as well because somehow now Chelsea fans hate him, Inter fans hate him, Juve fans hate him. So he just literally wanted by nobody. So shout out Lukaku. I don't know how he did that.
Yeah.
Ed saying Mudryk will come good. Mark my words. Okay, Ed's back in Mudryk. What do you guys think of Greenwood? We did quite a detailed segment on Greenwood the other day, which we're going to upload on our TikTok because it's even more relevant now. But I think we were just to kind of summarize, our thoughts were more kind of we believe he probably deserves a second chance in football, but not necessarily at Man United. So I think the right decision has been made, but it doesn't mean, well, at least we don't believe that he should be like banned from ever playing football again. But again, we understand why people will disagree with that. So, but yeah, we'll put up that clip on TikTok. Antonio might be better than Jesus.
Here he goes trolling again.
And there he's back again. Big up our guy Anton, locked in, fellas. Big up, brother. Hope you're blessed, man. Good to see you in here always. Wayne Tevez saying facts that Mudryk will come through. Big up Wayne Tevez in the building. Everyone hating on Mudryk, the same people that wanted him. He hasn't played more than 70 minutes in a game more than twice. Okay.
Hey, Wayne, what do you think? Wayne, what do you think of Anthony? Put that in the comments.
Yeah. Wayne Tevez, what do you think of Anthony? God forbid Lukaku should be given a chance. Big up my guy Dan, top man Dan, saying Chelsea in trouble if they don't start getting results. Yeah, and not only Chelsea, Pochettino will be in trouble. Mudryk just needs a
better team around him, yeah.
And big up Robert in the building. Hope you're blessed, man. Good to see you. Saying as a West Ham fan, hate to admit it, but Poch will get it right. Hey, very honest from you. Very, very honest from you. But big win for you guys. And how are you feeling about James Ward-Prowse? What do you think about that signing and Alvarez? And big up Shane in the building saying LOL. I don't know. Probably laughing at one of them Lukaku comments. Anthony will come good. Just give him time. Okay, so you're still defending Anthony. Fair enough. Fair enough. Shane, give us a reason why. What do you see in Anthony that makes you still believe in him? And Wayne Tevez saying you can look at Anthony and say he's horrible. If you look at Mudryk, you can say he's talented. You can see he's talented.
Mm-hmm.
If you can't, then you're blind.
Word.
So,
word.
Yeah. Saying Anthony is doo-doo.
Got him.
Yeah, my guy. I agree. And the comments is going wild. I love it.
Yeah. Nate in the building saying, do you think Fulham or Sheffield United could get a result against Man City without Pep? No. Obviously, Pep just had surgery on his back, so shout out Pep. Hopefully he recovers, full recovery. But no, Nate, quick answer, no, I don't think so. But you never know, but very, very unlikely. We'll just put it like that. Anton saying James Ward-Prowse is greater than Mason Mount.
100.
Okay. See, I don't know if I agree with that. I still think Mason Mount is better still. I can't lie.
Ward-Prowse is underrated.
I think you get more from James Ward-Prowse than you do from Mason Mount in a game. That's all I'm saying.
In general play,
your perspective too.
I mean,
I hear that perspective.
I mean, look, set pieces is part of the game. I mean, you've got free kicks, you've got these things, and give that boy a second to adjust himself before he shoots. It's a problem. Do you know what I mean?
Yep.
So I just at the moment I've seen Mason Mount squander goals when he's in front of the goal. I've seen him hit the ball.
Pre-season, isn't it?
Yeah, I've seen him smash the ball. Do you know what I'm saying? I've seen him do crap passes. I've seen him not get about the pitch when he's needed to be. I've seen his positioning be quite awful as well. So yeah, JWP all day for me.
That's fair. Wayne Tevez saying Anthony might be the worst winger I've ever seen.
Jesus.
Love your honesty, Wayne. Love it.
Yeah, no, I love your honesty, Wayne, man. And Shane saying he's got the attributes to come good in the Prem, just needs to be more direct.
Needs to be brave. Need some courage.
Yeah. Yeah. I understand what Shane is saying. I do. I understand what he's saying, but I don't know, man. It's difficult with Anthony. I don't know. It's just Daniel's saying Ward-Prowse gives you moments, which is what Rash was just alluding to. Wayne Tevis saying they're both average at best. So hey, big up, big.
Yeah.
Hey,
Yeah.
shout out Wayne, man. Wayne,
Yeah.
big up Wayne. When was the last time Mason Mount turned up? Ant was asking. 2021.
About then.
Yeah.
Probably. Yeah,
About
probably.
that.
Arsenal bought a Joey average in Declan Rice. Just saying.
Hey, he's better than Mount.
I can't even.
Yeah. Wayne Tevis saying Basuma's better than Rice.
Got an argument?
Okay.
Yeah, I don't think you're gonna get really disagreements from us because we all rated Basuma very highly, and we're not. One bad season on the manager that didn't really fancy him is not gonna sway our opinion. We all see the talent that Basuma has.
Yeah.
But obviously, if you put that out nationally as a debate right now, you'll probably get laughed at. Everyone would probably take Rice, but I probably prefer Basuma as a player, stylistically anyway.
And you have to understand, Wayne, as well, that you're speaking to a bunch of guys here that preferred Caicedo over Rice as well. I don't think no one here was saying, I want Rice. I think the thing was we want Caicedo, and even before Caicedo had a good season, we was all saying Basuma and Arsenal. When he went to Tottenham, it was just like, what the hell, So, like it's not when you're saying that. You're kind of like preaching to the choir, bro.
Yeah. Anton saying, tell Wayne to behave. Basuma can't walk in Rice's shadow.
Comments.
Rice is an average player that runs a lot.
Tackles a lot too.
Daniel saying Rice is also a leader.
That too.
Anton asking, why didn't Basuma go to a big club then? And he's saying, Daniel saying Basuma's not a leader. Yeah, so like obviously, yeah, that is fair. I think when Basuma went to Spurs, though, let's be fair and also remember that a lot of us were shocked because Spurs kind of signed him out of nowhere. And I think everyone was waiting for an Arsenal or Chelsea to go in for him and sign him. Spurs kind of swooped in out of nowhere. But yeah, Basuma's a proper player. But obviously, Rice has, like last night, he does a lot of the basics very well. So it just depends what you need as well and what you like. So it does come down to a matter of preference too. Shane saying, going forward, Arsenal are going to struggle for goals. Jesus is not good enough, won't get 20 goals.
Doesn't need to.
I don't think Jesus needs to get 20 goals, but what I would say is that without him in attack, Arsenal don't look anywhere near as fluid. I think that's hard to debate, to be honest. Ed saying Rice is average, but Jollof Rice is banging. Yeah. Hey, listen. Shout. Yeah, Daniel, I can't pull up that last comment, bro, because we just can't put that word up on the screen, innit? So, yeah.
I probably agree with what you're saying. I think that's the reason why we didn't go for him, because that was hanging over his head at the time.
Yes. The SA case. Yeah, the SA case. Declan, Wayne Tevis saying Declan Rice didn't play in the world last season, according to UEFA anyway, so he should be better than Rodri. This guy is just trolling. Yet he's not even close. Okay, yeah. Okay. The Packs are saying, Anton, when did Arsenal become a big club? Yeah, okay.
Get out of here, man. We're the biggest club in London. It's already clear that we top the charts when it comes to worth as well now, man. You need to start reading Paxa. Yeah.
Now, to be fair, I like it because everyone in the comments is kind of grilling each other. I like it. It's good.
Ed, have a word with Paxa, please. I know you know that
Uh,
guy.
Wayne Tevis saying not even better than Caicedo. Yeah. And I don't think that's a shame. I don't think that's not a diss. That's not a diss. Like
the even needs to be taken away because you're going on like Caicedo isn't a good player. He's a great player, man. I love the way he plays.
Yeah, Caicedo. Yeah, that's the thing. We're not gonna. Yeah, the thing is, like we're not like the kind of like show that's going to use that Caicedo bad 20 minutes and just have a whole segment just trolling him because there's no value in that. There's, you know what I mean? You get nothing from that. Like we're actually just gonna look at the game and then see what we see. Obviously, there's funny moments. You know, we like to troll sometimes, as Jalil does with Loris and drink driving. But yeah, you know what I mean. Like we just try and analyze the game for what we see, and we do try and always be honest. Wayne Tevez saying Tonali is better than Rice.
I like Tonali.
Yeah, again, I don't think you're gonna get any disagreement from any of us. Anyone disagree?
No.
Different type of players, to be honest.
Different type too.
Different
Yeah.
type of players, but
Different type
I
too.
like Tonali. I've been screaming Tonali to Arsenal for like a good few seasons now. You know, so
You have. Anton saying we're the third biggest club domestically in this country. That's a fact. Paxa.
Jeez.
Yep.
bringing facts to the table.
Tell him, as Rash said. Tell him. Daniel saying Caicedo is cold.
100.
He'll be sick for them. Nobody cares who's better than Rice. Rice complements what we're trying to do.
100.
And Anton saying no way is Tonali better than Rice.
Okay.
Okay, fair enough. Okay, Anton, let me ask you this. So where do you rank Declan Rice among the hierarchy of defensive midfielders? Just curious for you to throw it out there. Wayne Tevez saying, and what is it that Arsenal are trying to do?
I think you can see Wayne. You've seen it over the last couple of seasons. Let's
Be
not
more
close
solid.
our eyes right now. What are Man United trying to do? That is a question you need to be thinking about.
Yeah, trying to be more solid, man. That's what our style now. We'll probably talk about us, but our style now is probably more.
Yeah, let's go into it. Yeah,
it's more suitable to play against any kind of team now.
Uh-huh.
Last season we were like really, really good going forward. Like now it's a bit more measured going forward. We tend to control games, or at least first two games we controlled the games for large periods. And it's just a bit more fluid. Like we can move to several different iterations of the same formation in a game. Like you can go 3-1-6, 3-2-5, normal 4-3-3. There's just a bunch of things we can do with Rice playing there. So I'm starting to see more and more why he's there. The price is a whole nother story. Like the price is the price. But in terms of like him, you already can see what he's gonna do, man. He's gonna divide opinion completely. Like I think John said it a couple of weeks ago. Like it's just either you're gonna recognize what he does, the basics wise, and how he just keeps us ticking, or you're gonna say he's not actually doing anything. To me, I fall on the first side. Like in the first few games, I see what he brings to the team. Like he kind of snuffs out danger quite early. He's like a physical guy, so like it's almost like an intimidation thing. People will see him and just kind of just surrender the ball. So that kind of thing is good for us because we get the ball back quicker. He doesn't try like what Partey tries. I even said, I think like last season, but when we signed him, like we're gonna lose things by Rice playing there that Partey can do, but you're gonna gain things too because Rice isn't gonna be as ambitious as a Partey. Like Partey has those kind of passes in his locker and he tries them all game, like even if it's not in our best interests. So
Rice, I know what you mean.
Rice is just pretty
steady,
simple on the ball, and just keeps it ticking. And he's got this thing where he's pretty good at driving with the ball. Like he is pretty good at that. I'll give him that. So I think as the season goes on, like people say, like I see like a question on like one of the shows, if it was TNT, BT, whatever they call themselves, and I can't remember. But it said, would Rice is Rice going to add anything to Arsenal in terms of the challenge for the title? I say yes, but you won't see it until crunch time. Like you won't see it now because it's early in the season. Like why would you see it now? But as it comes to that crunch time, if we're still in the Champions League knockout stages, those kind of periods, and you got back-to-back games and you're in cups, that's the kind of time where you might see, okay, I kind of see why they signed him. If you see it.
Yeah.
Some people
If
might
you see
just fall on the side of, you don't do enough. I hear that. That's like, it's kind of like he's kind of gonna be like a polarizing player, isn't it? Like, it's kind of gonna be like, oh, you're on this side, you see what he's doing, or nah, you shit. I understand both, man, but I fall on the first one. I think.
Yeah, sorry, Rash. I wanted to come to you and ask you a couple of questions. I was just gonna say on Rice, I was gonna say, I don't think you should call him shit. I do think players nowadays, like we always say, there's no gray area anymore. You're either good or you're shit. I think there's just players that you may like more than others. There's a certain profile you might like more that maybe somebody else, like someone might like Rice more than Basuma, like we discussed, but we might prefer Basuma. That's just the way we see it. Doesn't necessarily make either of them bad players because they're both good players in what they bring to the table. But before I come to Rash with a couple of questions, smash the likes again, people. Don't forget. Daniel saying, Anton saying, I'd say Rice is top 5 DMs in Europe.
Sheesh.
There's Rodri.
I'd still say probably Partey is over him.
I'd still say Partey's over him. I mean, we obviously have Caicedo over him. I'd probably still pick Casemiro over him, even though Casemiro's showing some worrying signs. Who else is there? I'm sure I'm forgetting some names.
I think it's too early for me to say.
Is De Jong technically a DM? I mean,
he is,
plays.
But he doesn't. I don't know if he plays there enough.
Kimmich as well. Kimmich is better than Rice, but DM.
Camavinga's supposed to play DM, and he does play that.
Oh, Tchouaméni's better.
Camavinga, they play there.
Tchouaméni's better. Camavinga, if he plays there, is better. So I don't think he's top 5, but I hear your perspective. Wayne Tevez said last year there was no Rice and Arsenal were controlling games with Xhaka.
It's a different controlling though. Like this last season we were a surprise package. Like we weren't. This season we're gonna be gunned for. Like even the first 2 games, you can see it. Like teams are setting up to like, all right, cool. We're not, unpenetrable. Like you can't go past us type shit. But like, the way Rice plays, it helps us. Like we're gonna, like, even our passes. Like if I was checking it, like last season we probably averaged like 580, 550, something like that a game. First game we made like 780 passes. Like we never did that last season. Like it's a different kind of control. And then even this season, before Tommy Yasu's, I'm gonna call it a moment of madness because it was unnecessary. That you didn't need to put your hand on him. Stupid.
What he got
Jeff, it wasn't a second yellow though, Jeff. I understand. I get it. I understand where you're coming from totally.
Yeah, if I'm Arteta, I blame the player. I'm not even going to contest.
I hear you.
It's your fault because you're on a yellow. You have to be more careful. Like
what he got the first yellow and what he actually did was 2 different things. He didn't pull his shirt. He leaned on him.
No, but he did pull his shirt first, and then he leaned on him. And then Ayew did what a striker or attacker is meant to do and go down. You shouldn't have even let that be a thought. Like the first yellow, we can agree.
I didn't see the shirt pulling. The
like
first,
he
the
held
yellow.
him initially. The first yellow isn't a yellow, but you've been given it. So that's grounds for you to move more careful now. Like that's just what I don't fall on the side as it shouldn't have been a second yellow, like the outrage of it. Is my outrage would be with the player if I'm the manager. Like, bro, I
do hear you. I understand what you mean. Like it's a case of if you know I'm on a yellow, should you even get tightened in the first place where you could get spun? So but let me let me read some comments and then because I want to ask Rash a couple of questions. Shane saying in the topic of Anthony, how's Pepe getting on? Bro, I can't lie, Shane. You're my guy, but we spoke about it at the beginning. Pepe did better than Anthony. Just saying it. People might disagree. Daniel saying I want Rice as an 8, but he needs to know where the 6 is for us.
See, I prefer him in the 6. I think.
Yeah, I don't know if I want him to be an 8. Wayne Tevis saying, yeah, Shaka is bad, to be honest. The Packs are the only big team to not win their domestic title in the past 18 years. Wayne Tevis said, not even sure Rice attempts more than 5 forward passes a game to be an 8, which I think goes back to Jeff's point. The Packs said maybe Blackburn are still a big club, shout out their 90s dominance.
When in the 90s dominance, they just won a title.
Yeah, this one title, yeah. Anton saying, story off topic. Apparently, Mount is out for a month. LOL. I shouldn't laugh at this. United would definitely prompt United to get Amrabat now. They probably still won't, to be honest.
And
they probably still won't.
I'm going to be honest. Like Amrabat would help their midfield, but they need someone who's going to get on the ball and dictate.
Yeah.
More.
I can't lie. United should go for variety, man.
But you know what it is? Like you buy Verratti and he will improve your team, but it'll be the Thiago kind of thing where he's sick when he's there, but then he's injured half the time. Verratti has a history of injuries. So like is there even any point buying him?
Yeah, true. Wayne Tevis asking, so 105 million was spent to play someone out of their preferred position.
No, I wouldn't say that. I think 105 mil was spent because of the flexibility. I don't agree on the price. I'm gonna start with that.
Yeah, we've said it. We've already said it. We don't need to say it again. We've already said it.
Yeah, but in terms of where he can play and what he can do, like we can just be a bit more flexible. You're gonna see 6-man attacking at one point, and then you can see 5-man attacking at one point because Rice can kind of do that in between job kind of quite well.
Yeah, no, exactly. Daniel saying he's our future captain. Shane asking how far does Arsenal need to get in the Champions League for it to be a successful season? I don't see him getting to the quarterfinals at best. This is something I want to speak with Rash about. Daniel saying, Lord knows, get out of the groups will be good. I think that's too low of a bar. Wayne Tevis saying Rice's ceiling is the white version of the Joan Obi Mikel. It's not a bad player.
It's not a bad one.
It's not a bad player.
Mikel gets disrespected a lot, but he was really good at Chelsea, especially in that Mourinho era.
It's not even just that, man. Mikel had a second coming, bruv. He had a second coming in his career, bruv. He came back. You know what I'm trying to say? Led his country to.
I like Mikel.
Yeah. Shane saying Camavinga walks all over Rice, which we agreed.
Yeah.
Daniel saying Casemiro's not above Rice right now. This is England. And yeah, I think that's all caught up in the comments. So yeah, Rash, man, like Jeff's spoken about, like this is an Arsenal side that still dominates games, but they dominate in a more patient way, probably in a way that's less exciting to watch. Which I think is where Rice comes in. He's more of a ball recycler in terms of more than like attacking, being aggressive with his passing. But like, yeah, what do you make early on of this Arsenal? Now, obviously, there's some really good signs. Saliba's looking like a beast, like an absolute monster, and the team is looking quite solid overall. But yeah, what do you make of how Arsenal are looking so far? And just on that point around Champions League, don't know about what you think, but I do think that the quality around Europe is down at the moment. We saw it last year. Should Arsenal not be aiming for like a quarterfinal, semi-finals, given how the landscape of Europe is?
So look, in regards to the Arsenal squad and the new Arsenal type of, shall we say, the new type of Arsenal that we're witnessing right now, we can all see it's a different type of Arsenal. It's a new day. It's not the Arsenal of the past, you know, that was known for being brittle, especially within their midfield, who collapse under pressure. We're witnessing an Arsenal that's a lot more resilient, who can be quite strong, be very disciplined when needed to be, and they don't lose their heads like they used to. That game at Palace yesterday kind of indicates that like perfectly. A couple seasons ago, Arsenal winning 1-0 at Selhurst Park, lose a player, we're losing 2-1, 3-1. Yeah, and that's not because the other team would be much better than us. It's because that we wouldn't know how to make the midfield compact, and we wouldn't have a defensive line that is so close to the midfield line to make it very tight for the attacking team to get through. Before, we would have seen an Arsenal that wouldn't have changed their formation too much and still tried to go for the attack to try and score a couple goals to try and still increase the gap. But we've learned from the errors of the past. We've got a whole new breed of players, and we've got players that not only can be attacking, but they're also defensive minded as well. They're able to switch up and they're adaptable in the game. And that's one of the things that I like about this new Arsenal. We've got many players in the squad now that can play many positions, and they can also play many positions very well as well. We've got Partey, who's known for playing in the midfield, but he can also play in the defense. We've got Rice, who can do a number 8 or a number 6 role. We've got Havertz, which, to be honest, I was like, he should be the one to be taken off. But at the same time, he had a good game yesterday, I think. He held the ball up well, he passed the ball very well, and he was able to bring the ball up high when needed to. We've just got the players that we know that, okay, if we need to sit on this lead, we can make substitutions now, and these guys know how to do the job. We saw reasons why we introduced players like Rice and Jorginho and Zinchenko, because when all of those players was on the pitch at the same time, and when Palace had that under pressure, and we made those changes, we knew what the tactic was now. It was keep ball. We need some possession. Every time we get the ball, we're kicking it out, we're losing the ball. We need some players who are good on the ball, who's got a bit of pass mastery, and we saw that as soon as they came onto the pitch, the passing between those guys was amazing, including obviously Partey as well. So it's a new Arsenal where we're not witnessing the weak-spined Arsenal that crack under the pressure anymore. We saw last season the free-flowing football that we're in our attack, but already in these first 2 games, we've seen the stronghold, the fortress Arsenal, that you're not going to pass Arsenal. And that's what every team needs in their squad and needs to be able to display when times get hard and gets on top, like it did yesterday. I don't agree with Jeff in regards to the Tomiyasu thing. I think both cards were harsh. I don't think he should have got a yellow for any of them. I didn't see the pull of the shirt. I still haven't. I saw him lean on the player. To me,
that's what I saw, to be honest.
Yeah, and so leaning on a player, especially as a defender, that's normal. Yeah, what you're trying to say now is that you're not allowed to have any contact, especially a contact which is just leaning on a player's hip. And that's from my perspective, because that's all I saw. Didn't see the shirt pull. But look, I think Arsenal have made some good investments with the players that they bought for the style of football that they want to try and play. We know about the free-flowing football. We just need to know that they can be solid. We've got a strong, solid backline, but they need the support of solid midfielders. I believe that we have that now. And in Rice, what we've mentioned many times is that Rice, he isn't the player that's going to light up the sky with his performances and, do a flipping 20 step overs to get to the byline and then cut back and all these things like that. No, he's not going to do this. But as Jeff pointed out in our group chat, I believe yesterday, is that he does the basics, and he does the basics very well. And when you have someone who's got strong foundations of the basics, it's easy to make these players progress and increase on what they already have, rather than them having flair, but the basics is all over the place. They become redundant. They become an Anthony. You understand? They become players like this who, you don't even have the basics of positioning, of passing, of just having a footballing mind. That's a lot harder to teach than to up someone's game who's already got those attributes. So I think, yes, 105 million, we know that is British tax. We know he's not really worth that much. Do you know what I mean? But it is what it is. And to the type of player that he can be, I mean, he's still a young guy. As Daniel said in the comments, he's a future captain of Arsenal, and I can see that. You can see that Arteta, the way that he speaks to him and how much confidence he's got in him, that is next in line. He's definitely probably second. If we see Odegaard come off the pitch, we're probably definitely going to see the armband go on to Rice. So Look, I think Arsenal have a bright future. We're seeing a much
Mhm.
resilient Arsenal, a stronger Arsenal, one that is much harder to break down, even a 10-man Arsenal. I mean, when have you seen Arsenal get compact like that? You know, take that much pressure. I mean, that's a training job. You're not allowed to concede a goal. It's straight 20 minutes of an onslaught of pressure from
Mhm.
attacking people. They managed to get through. And yes, Palace ain't the best in attacking, especially since Zaha's gone. Elisa is not there
Mhm.
right now through injury. So everything was really coming through Eza. But at the same time, we know what they can do and we know what being under pressure can do. In the past, you would have seen Arsenal switch off for a moment, which would have led to a goal, or do something silly, which would have led to a pen. You know, there wasn't that worry yesterday. Every ball that was coming in, I believe that every player was confident. I mean, you even saw it when they picked it up in the box and around the box. They wasn't always just hoofing it. They was trying to get past the man, play a ball, and then hoofing it out. But there was no outlet at the time. But yeah, I think we're witnessing a new Arsenal, and I think it's a great transition. And I think it's going to be very helpful, and this season is going to be good if we now can build on the transition into attack like we had last season. As I mentioned in the chat yesterday, we're not going to see those type of scorelines from Arsenal that we saw last season, because last season was a big shock factor to how Arsenal was playing. A lot of teams
Mhm.
are now prepared for that type of football for Arsenal, so it's going to be a lot more difficult. We're going to have to see a lot more of these type of performance where we don't play so well, but we get the victory more than what we saw last season, and we're going to see more of that. So, but this is what makes champions. This is what gets you far in the league. This is what gets you far in the cup. So, moving on to the Champions League, you're right. Europe has
Dipped.
the talent has gone down. The teams aren't what they used to be. You know what I mean? And there's a lot more opportunity for the British clubs to go a lot further, as we've seen in the last few seasons. It's been dominated really by the English clubs in the last quarters when it gets down to the nitty gritty of it. Do I expect Arsenal to get far? It's hard to say. It's hard to say. It's been a long time since we've had the experience of playing top quality sides in Europe, you
Mhm.
know. But one thing that I like about Arsenal is the adaptability that we've got now on the field and on the bench. You know, we've proven that we've got the players to fill in multiple roles. It's about being able to apply that against the biggest teams in Europe. I do think we'll get out of the group stages. I do think getting out of the group stages is bare minimum to us. It would be amazing for us to get to quarterfinals. But look, to be honest, I'm a gooner. I want us to win. It's going to be very hard. You saw pre-season how difficult it can be to come up against good players, but you also saw us go up against teams like Barcelona who were full squadded. Yeah, we know that that was like their first game pre-season, I think it was. But at the same time, like if you
Mhm.
compare that amount of heart and that determination and that togetherness throughout the Champions League run that we are about to face, I think we can get quite far. I have high hopes for Arsenal this season in the Champions League.
Yeah, and I think that's well summarized. And I think the fact that you spoke about the different types of ways that Arsenal can play, and and speaking about the victories, and there's you're not always going to win thrillingly. We remember last year, City got a 2-1 home win with Leeds toward the end of the season. Nothing fancy, nothing spectacular, but the 3 points got added up to the board, and it's on to the next week. And especially at the beginning of the season, you're just trying to build the rhythm, and once you have that first good performance, usually it comes from there. So yeah. And you spoke as well about Arsenal having resiliency. Shane saying Arsenal crumbled 2 seasons in a row towards the end of the season. To me, now again, Rash's point is that he sees a different Arsenal, but again, when it comes to the litmus test at the end of the season, then that's when it will be fully judged. Wayne Tevez said Arsenal will win the trophy this year. They have the 2 best DMs in the world and the best right winger in the world. Yeah, shout out Wayne. I'm not even sure Anthony has flair. He doesn't know what he's doing half the time. Shane said all around Arsenal have improved, I'll admit, but Arteta's management is what's let him down. He thinks he's Pep 2.0. Last season, Saka burnt out due to being overplayed. Fair point.
Mhm.
Wayne Tevez saying, I think Saka just crumbled underneath the pressure, nothing to do with burning out. Yeah, Wayne is harsh, man.
I think he
Shout
was
out Wayne.
I think he was tired, man. You could see it in his play. A lot of Saka's performances towards the end was quite light, Anthony, where he brings the ball up to as far as he can up the pitch, and then he was playing it back because he just didn't have that bit to get past the players, man. I think he was really burnt out at the end.
Yeah, the lights come out, and the Odegaard who's better than De Bruyne apparently looked worse than Mount.
What?
Jesus.
Odegaard.
Yeah, shout out Lyrical Flame saying, say with your chest. I don't know who RR is, but shout out Lyrical Flame, man. Big up, man. Shane saying, bro, he was burnt out. Saka is a confident player. That's his main attributes. A few players should have been dropped to perform, yet he still played. And you had one game a week and struggled. Wayne Tevez saying Anthony is confident as well, but he's crap.
Man, he's just shooting everyone.
Yeah, man. At this point, I don't even know what team Wayne supports, bro.
Yeah, I'm not sure, man.
Hey, shout out Wayne, man. Shane said, this is Prem. If you can't thrive under pressure, are you even in the right league? Fair. And Lyrical Flame said, World Cup impacted Saka last season. Best player I remember. And Wayne said, I support Man City. Fair enough. So you're living the good life, Wayne. Yeah. Best team in the world. You're living the good life, Wayne. But let's just do very quickly. Champions League, Arsenal back in it. They're in pot 2. Rash, how far do Arsenal go in the Champions League this season? And you can go from anywhere to winners to out in the group stage.
Remind me of pot 2 if you can.
So pot 2 in pot 2 there's Madrid, United. So we can't get those teams. In pot 1 you got Bayern, Barca, Napoli, PSG. That's pot 1. So you can only get one of those teams in the group. One of those, you can't get anyone for pot 3 is like AC Milan, and then pot 4 is like just like your standard like Club Bruges type. So yeah, what do you think?
I think on Arsenal's best day, they have the ability to beat anyone. To be honest, we witnessed some great football last season, and what we're seeing this season so far is a more stronger Arsenal. So look, if we can get that together, and it's weird. At the end of last season, I had a good feeling about Arsenal this season in the Champions League. I think we're going to get quite far. This might come back to bite me in my butt, but
hey,
I say Arsenal semis.
Okay, Arsenal semis for Ash. I'm saying quarterfinals. I think they can get to quarterfinals, and then it just kind of depends who you get. You could get an AC Milan from last year. No offense, but you'll take that. And Jeff, what are you saying?
I'd say quarterfinals too, man. I think that's what we should definitely be aiming for. And then, yeah, like you said, like if we get there, then you can we can turn it up, man. If we can make the quarterfinals, then you can start having belief in making semis and finals.
Yeah, exactly. Damn, I miss. You guys remember them times Arsenal were making quarterfinals, semis, standard, man. Those were the days. Those were the days. Shane saying people forget what Anthony did to Arsenal last season.
Yeah, I forgot.
He scored, but what else? What else did he do?
That's what I was thinking. I was thinking he scored, man, but yeah. The Paxton said if Arsenal get to the semis, I'm not watching football anymore. Shit.
Paxton, we are watching football together if we get to the semis.
So wait, if Arsenal make the final, then what? If you're not watching football anymore when we make the semis.
Wayne said, would be surprised if Arsenal make it past the quarterfinals. Further they get, the more pressure that builds up, meaning the worst Arsenal players will perform.
Okay.
Yeah. So as a City fan, Wayne clearly doesn't fear. Wayne, do you fear Arsenal, given you're a City fan?
And I still don't know if he's a City fan.
I don't think he's a City fan. I reckon he's a Man United fan and he just don't want to say it.
You reckon?
And I don't blame you.
Your name is Wayne Tevez, so I'm not sure.
That
don't know
is
if you're,
true. Yeah,
I don't know if you're
Trevor's there.
Everton fan, Man City fan, or Man United, but I don't know.
He's ambiguous. He's racially
That
ambiguous.
is-
He's not racially ambiguous. What would we
Yeah,
call
not racially. Yeah,
What would we call it?
shit.
Team ambiguity or something. I
Club
don't know,
ambiguous.
bro.
We have no idea.
Oh man.
Hey, racially ambiguous. Hey, I heard that one. Hey, that's a bad one. But yeah, you know what? Let's just before we wrap up, let's Wayne said, of course not. What's there to fear about Arsenal? Hey,
I hear
we'll
you.
see you Arsenal will see you soon, Wayne. Arsenal will see you soon, Wayne. So don't worry. But yeah, let's talk about Man City quickly. Obviously, they beat Newcastle
Yeah.
1-0. Convincing victory, I would say, even though it was only a 1-0 scoreline. Phil Foden, very impressive. Let's speak on Phil Foden, because obviously he's been getting a lot of praise after that game, rightfully so, because he was excellent. But a lot of Arsenal fans are unhappy because the Saka Phil Foden debates are not only fully back, but there's a lot of people saying this is why Foden is clearly England's best talent. And a lot of Arsenal fans are frustrated, saying Saka puts in the work, is consistent, and Foden, it just needs one performance. And people are like, wow, this guy's better than Saka. This guy's the best English talent. So who do you guys think who would you guys prefer to have over the next 5 to 8 years? Foden's 21, I think, or 22. Saka, same age. Rash, who would you prefer to have?
But if I'm black, innit, I'm choosing Saka, innit?
Got him.
No, look. People are free to have the opinions that they want in it, and that's one of the best things about us as individuals and watching the Prem and watching football in general. You know, what I think about one thing, another person will think totally different. They'll see a different aspect to the play, potentiality of the player. To me, I think they're both brilliant players. I love Phil Foden. I think he's a fantastic player. I think he's got a high ceiling. He's got a lot to bring to a squad. But I think a lot that he brings to the squad is really just in the attacking sense of the game. Whereas I think Saka has got a lot more about his game, a lot more dynamic. He can bring more. He can play multiple positions, and he can play multiple positions very well as well. We've seen him as a fullback, a wing back. We've seen him as a winger, and we've seen what he has done from coming in under Emery to lighting up the sky with England. You know, we've seen this. So I think those players would be great to have on anyone's team. But 100%, I'll take Saka because he's black. No, I'm joking. I'll take Saka because, like I said, I think there's just a lot more that he can bring to a game. If you can get, if you can get the right type of players on Foden, his game is finished. I've seen that a lot of times.
Okay.
Only time I've seen Saka really get closed out in the game was to the end of last season when he was burnt out. It doesn't matter how much players you put on that boy when he's ready. 3, 4 players, it doesn't matter. You better put your whole squad on him, but then you're going to leave a gap for him to pass it to a player and then they're going to score. But Foden plays very well when he has another player alongside him that complements his play and that he can complement their play as well. That's what makes him look very, very good. As an individual, though, you don't really see him on his own dragging teams to victory and stuff like that. You don't really see that. But with Saka, you see him single-handedly drag a team to victory. And I think he has more of that in his game.
Okay, that's fair and good, very well broken down as well. In terms of analyzing their respective games and what they contribute, as well. I think Wayne said Foden's better than Saka when he plays in behind the striker. Fair point. Okay, fair opinion. The Paxter said City with Doku are going to be dangerous. Yeah, Doku. From
Did they
what
get
we've
Doku?
seen, yeah, they've got Doku. Yeah. Dangerous. Yeah, he's got a lot of pace. He can go past people. Pep could hone him into something serious. He could be a player. I can't lie. He could be a real player. And Wayne said Saka is still in Akanji's pocket. Hey, listen, that's a different debate. But yeah, Jeff, you've always been a big Foden fan, even when last season he had dips in the form. What do you make? Obviously, Rash is picking Saka long term over Foden. He broke down his analysis. Who would you take, Foden or Saka long term?
I'm gonna give the edge to Saka, man. I think Foden is probably a better talent, like just raw talent, but Saka's just how game savvy he is why I kind of give him the nod, like because Saka can kind of do anything against anybody, like he has the like intelligence of like a 34-year-old and he's 21, so that's what's kind of like that's his biggest strength, like is mentally, like that's the biggest strength. Like Foden is probably gonna hit the heights. They're gonna be battling in 5-10 years, so this is gonna be a debate that's never gonna go anywhere. But yeah, I'm probably gonna give it to Saka, man. I just think, yeah, Saka mentally he's got it, man. Like even like the other day, like Mitchell is not a slouch. Like Mitchell is decent and just finds a way to be a threat. And even if the defender finds a way to like, oh, okay, I think I know what he's gonna do. He might pass back a few times, and then all of a sudden he's taking you down the line. Or all of a sudden he's got you where he likes where people are close because he has this ability to just roll you. And those kind of things is why I give it to Saka. I think when it comes to the England talents, don't get me wrong, Saka probably didn't start out the best. You say the Foden was probably better. Greenwood was jumped on the scene was better, like raw talent. But 2-3 years on, see, Greenwood is spoken for, but Foden, like last season, he had his little downswell, he had injuries, but Saka 3 years on, I'd say he's at the cream of that crop, man. Like he is vital to Arsenal at 21. He's vital to England. And yeah, I can just see him being a big player in the next 5-10 years, man.
Yeah, no, well said. I think that is one of Saka's strengths that you mentioned, is that he does like when people get too tight to him.
You roll you. It don't matter what your size is, you're getting rolled.
So, did you see him up against Ayew yesterday as well? And Ayew is no slouch. He's a strong guy.
Strong guy.
When them two had their battle, you'd think Saka is the older of the two. No one's older than Ayew. Ayew's like 100. Do you know what I'm trying to say? 100. He just overpowered him, and to the point where Ayew had to like foul him in order to stop him. And I love that. It's about Saka. His ball retention is amazing. He barely loses the ball. Do you know what I'm trying to say? Yeah. And when he comes up against a blockade, he's very quick, as you were saying. He's so intelligent that he just knows how to, switch up. That's not working. We have to do this now. And it's instant, and he's like, I love to use this phrase, cerebral play. He's a cerebral player. He's very thought out, but it's instant as well. And that's one of the things that makes him edge over Foden, because I can't see that type of ability, strength, and quick thinking, and being able to have an alternative like Saka does at the moment.
Yeah, even in the game against Palace, we obviously Tomiyasu gets sent off. He's back in his original place, left wing back.
That's right. Yeah, and he did it well. He did it well as well.
And that's his biggest strength. Like, earlier on, he was like, all right, he needs to find a permanent position. Now he's got it. you can just appreciate what else he can do. He could play left back if you need him to. He can play left mid. He could play centre mid. He did it for Arsenal, all before he's 21. So this is a special kind of talent to have. This is what propels you over talent. Like at the end of the day, like talent is one thing. It's cool. Like anyone can have talent. Martial had talent. Martial has talent. Quaresma has talent. Tarat had talent. Like there's many of them.
Talent.
But what's gonna keep you there? Unless you're like a Messi style talent where it's completely undeniable and you're in a team who is kind of like tailor made for you. Talent is 30%, man. They don't mean much, not to me anyway.
Yeah, no, that's fair, and I think with Saka as well. I think we've hit the Foden Saka one. I think Foden is, when he's good or when he has his moments, they're very flashy. They're great half turns. He looks silky. He's very direct. So I think it's another thing in terms of where I think because Foden can have those spectacular moments, a lot of people may pick him over Saka because Saka's not too flashy. He's
not at all.
He keeps the game simple. He'll score a banger here and there, but he keeps the game simple. He's very cerebral and intelligent, as Rash said. So again, that's gonna be a preference thing in many ways. But it's gonna be a very good one to watch for England because if Saka plays this way, I think Foden would be better off playing him behind. So England should find a way of accommodating both players.
100%.
But then the trouble becomes that in behind spot is really where Jude Bellingham plays best too, because that's more his strength. Making those late.
That boy there,
like it's like, and you see the top of the England crop is him and it's Saka. Like it's him first.
So again, we can see Jude Bellingham's strengths already at Madrid. Late runs into the box. He's very clinical. He's intelligent.
He scored three goals in 2 games.
3 in 2 games.
Hey, that
in
boy
2
there.
games, he's 1 goal away from equaling. I saw that funny stat from equaling Hazard's La Liga tally in 4 years.
Hey, how'd you feel, John?
Leave Hazard alone at this point. Jesus.
I was heartbroken when when that was said to me. I didn't even respond to it. I just said, you know what? Chelsea Hazard and Belgium Hazard is the only Hazard I care about. Yeah. but real talk, shout out Jude Bellingham because Madrid is no easy for no one.
The way he's just taking it like
in his stride.
Yeah, I'm here. This is me now. Like this is me now. Do you know what I'm trying to say?
Yeah.
Wow.
I can't lie. I haven't watched the first 2 games live, and I heard especially the first game he was unreal.
Yeah.
So I'm definitely gonna try and tune in and watch more full games because I just want to see how he plays with the rest of the team because obviously Mbappe's not going there now. But yeah, that team, there's a lot to like in that Madrid team. So shout out Jude Bellingham because at 19 to take the risk to go Madrid when you're English, it's not easy. And let me just put this up, but from Rash, I think in reference to Greenwood. Doesn't mean it is in fact what's been said. Is this in reference to Greenwood?
No. It was in regards to a comment that was said by Wayne. Wayne said, "I didn't see any of this ability in all the games."
For Saka, okay.
Yeah.
Talk about the best team maybe in the Premier League history who would set up to stop our star player. So I there's not that much credence in it. Like I understand it. Like okay, he got stopped, but who doesn't? Messi's been stopped before. Not comparing the two, but top players get stopped.
Yeah, everybody gets stopped. So yeah, but listen,
look, you touched on them.
you
touched on Greenwood. So
I think with the Greenwood one, like I said, I think we covered it really well on the other show.
We did.
But yeah, so I think people should watch that. Like I said, I'm going to put that clip up, but I think in the end, he's probably going to get moved to Saudi, get some money back, rip it up for a couple of years, and then come back to Europe. I just see that.
Look, to be honest, there's a few players who I don't think it's a good move to go to Saudi. One's Martial and one's Greenwood. All right. Martial, we know he's got a thing for the ladies. Not a good idea in Saudi, bro. Yeah. Greenwood got a thing for putting his hand on women, and the punishment for what he was accused of originally, it's not a good idea, bruv. And I think the reason for Manchester United, because if you saw the statements that come out from their CEO, they're heavily behind the fact that they believe he didn't do what he was charged for. But they still want to get rid of him, obviously because it's brand damaging for one. But
brand damage, PR.
One thing that's been spoken about in the group chat a lot is that, you know, apparently this isn't the first time he's had issues with his soon-to-be baby's mother, you know, and this is something that seemed to be a bit of a rocky relationship. They're very young, and these type of spats have happened before. Apparently, this is one of the things that affected him in England as well, for playing for the England squad too. So look, it's about, do you have faith that the player won't do something like this again after already being in the spotlight? And if you can't put confidence in the player that he has actually learned his lesson, then the best thing is to do is get rid. If the law isn't going to deal with him the way that we feel that he should have been dealt with, then the club has to understand that they've got a reputation, and they've got to think about the future as well. They can't be thinking about today. They've got to think about tomorrow and the potentialities of, if this was to happen again, what type of backlash would the club get with not dealing with it appropriately the first time? So I feel like the club's done what they've had to do, but I think the young boy's got a lot of lesson learning to do. He needs a strong male role model in his life that can tell him the value of women, you know, and how essential they are for us as a family and as society as well as a whole. And you know, have to put it into the context of respect them as you respect your mother, respect them as you respect your sister, or how you would want them to be respected. Nothing can justify doing those things. And even if you've been found not guilty of those things, everyone heard the voice note, and everybody saw the pictures. So look, I hope this has been a really strong learning point for the lad. I hope he's able to turn his life around and make it up to that young girl, do you understand, in every way that he needs to. But yeah, man, I don't think Saudi is a good place for him.
I think, to me, I think anything is kind of a, if you're rehabilitated, like, or if you're on the road to hit rehabilitation, whatever it is, like he apologized to something in his statement, whether it be the domestic violence accusations or what we saw picture wise. I don't know what exactly he was apologizing for. We don't know, but whatever it was, if you're on the road to being better in general, then you just need to get back into football. Like, I never believe like he should be, like we already said, like he shouldn't be stripped of his football, because there's a lot of people out there who have done some heinous things and they're still able to play football. So you can't now stop
not just in the football field, in other fields
in life. Like people do heinous things and they're allowed to coexist and do whatever. So he's like, don't get me wrong, he deserved some he probably deserved to go in the end, because it was just too much. Like, you could see United put out that feeler last week just to see, let's see what the public will say.
That's what that was.
And it didn't go too good. So it's like, all right, cool. You know what?
That's sneak peek.
Man. Like, you know the ones you put out the trailer. Oh, nah. There's too many dislikes on this comment in YouTube. There's too many dislikes on this video. Forget it. So they cut ties. But I like the fact that they're not like just leaving him to his own devices, because whilst that situation was where it was, like, being released from your boyhood club at 21 years of age when you just signed a bumper deal or whatnot, hey, that could drive you to the complete other side where you might not want to be here no more. So at least his club are looking, or Man United are looking for another club for him because
And it's the aftercare that's important as well.
Yeah, and in general, like even when you broaden the conversation away from like a Greenwood, like there needs to be some kind of like youth people at these clubs. Like it's not shouldn't just be on like the agent and the family of the player, because if you got that amount of money, like for the most part, unless you've got a certain kind of foundation growing up, then you're not gonna really be with your family. You probably earning 3-4 million a year. You're gonna be to your own devices, and like even the Dele Alli thing, like you end up being addicted to balloons and sleeping pills
and lying
and
Yeah.
oh man. But yeah, like just different things. Like you're exposed to too much. So like there needs to be people at these clubs who are like closer to these players, because this won't be the last like one where you're seeing something and then people might have ignored it or whatnot. Like be closer to these people, because yeah, man, it's gonna be tense out there if you're like 19, 20 with all that money and all that power, man.
Yeah, and
real talk.
Yeah, real talk. And I think you both said it well. I think it's a lot of pressure at that age, 19, 20, having all that money, probably having a lot of yes people around you that are just gassing you up, thinking you can do whatever you want, and you can get away with anything. And like Rash said, the most important thing is that he comes out of this a better person, a better man. And there's a lot of lessons that people generally can learn from this, in terms of, like Rash said, treating women with the appropriate respect, the respect they deserve. And there's certain lines you should just never cross. So hopefully Greenwood can just become a better person. And then, hopefully maybe one day, maybe talk about some of the mistakes that he's made. So he can maybe prevent some people from doing something similar in the future. So that's what we all hope for. And none of us think he should be banned from football, but him leaving United is the right decision. And as Shane said, I'm so upset that he's going. He had huge potential, but he's ruined it at United. And I think that's the best summary for it on the Greenwood front. But let's wrap it up with the superstar and fraud of the weekend. So Rash, if you're ready, bro, or if not, I can go to Jeff.
I'm not ready just yet. Let me quickly think.
Yeah, take a sec. If not, I can start. My superstar was Matoma. Just simply for that goal was too crazy, unbelievable individual brilliance. So he's my superstar of the weekend. And in terms of my fraud of the weekend, has to be Ten Hag, and Anthony. Because you can't. I'm sorry, you can't do a flip flop and be in the same position. So that's just like man. I'm sorry. So Ten Hag and Anthony, my frauds of the weekend. Shane, I'm just being honest, brother. This is no Man United hate. I call it as I see it. If somebody else deserved to be a fraud, I would have said that too. And don't get me wrong, Disasi was close because he was disastrous against West Ham.
Player and a squad for both. For both. Are we still doing that?
Oh, you can do that. To be fair, you can. I just picked both because I couldn't pick between Ten Hag and Anthony, so I just thought. In fact, let me just make it Anthony.
I hate you, bro.
Yeah, so that's me. Jeff, what are you saying?
My superstar of the week is, I'll give it to Ward-Prowse. 2 assists on his debut. He's probably gonna end. I'm gonna say this: he'll probably end up with double figures assists this season. He's at the right team, like, because their aerial and his delivery is too good. So
definitely. That's how they get
already 2 to his name. So good start.
2 in 1 game, just like that. And then, fraud of the week. Now I got a real one, but Anthony has to get a mention first, because you are consistently stinking up that right side of the pitch. Like the whole side stinks, whole side. So that's just an honorable mention for you. I'm gonna give it to VAR for the McAllister sending off, because I just didn't understand it. That it was just a weird decision. It got overturned, I see.
Yeah, it got rescinded. Yeah.
But yeah, it shouldn't have been like, because you send the player off. If the ref makes a decision, you're reviewing it. So how did you not tell him he made a mistake? Like, I don't understand. Like, it wasn't a bad challenge. Like, you saw the shock in his face when he got the red. He's like, wait, what?
It wasn't even a yellow.
It was nothing. Like, it was all right. The
It
guy's
might have been a yellow because it was a little
Maybe
bit
a
high on the
yellow,
shin, but his
maybe.
foot wasn't high enough off the floor to warrant a red.
bruh.
Nah, man.
Yeah, I'm not giving anything for that. Like, that's one of those tackles that happen in the game. Like a red.
Yeah, literally, yeah.
A red.
Yeah.
Like what? Are you serious?
Yeah.
But yeah, I give the fraud of the week to them because you consist. There's been like 4 or 5 years of VAR, and we still aren't close to any of the other countries that use VAR. Like I saw a clip that went out which shows like the French, like the backing team, or I don't know what you call them, the VAR team in their office. Like they're actually, you can hear them speaking to the ref. I think we might need that here because clearly, like, you guys just making decisions and letting us see it isn't working. At least let us hear it.
Yeah.
Let's hear some of your thought processes to how you get here, because we're confused a lot of the time at how you get to these decisions. I'm lost.
Yeah.
No, facts. Rash.
Yeah.
Go on, bro.
With time to think, in Superstar of the Week, I mean, there was a few people who really done well this week. There was Matoma. I think March managed to get onto the score sheet again. I really like the Salah's play and Luis Diaz play as well for Liverpool. But
Robert Sly as well was good.
Yes. Brilliant midfield performance as well.
Was good.
You know what I'm trying to say? But I think I'm going to go with an impressive performance. Not the result that they want, but an impressive performance from Raheem Sterling. Like, I really liked how he played this weekend. It's like he's rolled back the years. I don't know how he did that, but he just even looks better in some cases. So, like, shout out to Raheem. And my team of the weekend goes to Brighton. I think they've done really well. You see them up there in top position. Don't know how long that's going to last, but you're there. Well done, lads. You know, real team performance. Really know how to transition from the back to attack. Calm on the ball. Great passing and movement. I might have to eat my words by saying that they might be flop of the season by them not achieving what is expected of them. You know, back to the flops of the weekend. As much as I want to lift up the skirt of Anthony, because he is very poor, I have to give it on that brief spell of Caicedo. I like him a lot. I think he's got a
good choice,
great potential, high ceiling, but he came on looking like he just strolled out of bed. He looked extremely tired. Maybe he overslept. You know what I'm trying to say? He looked out of breath. He as much times as he got the ball, he passed it back to the player that he received it from. The shots that he had was wayward. He lost the ball, I think, a couple times on the pitch, and then he gave away a penalty on your debut. Man, I saw you praying before you came on the pitch. Yeah, I saw you praying when you came off the pitch too.
That was the funniest clip. That clip was smacked 3-1 and you're there praying.
So, as soon as I saw that, I said, yeah, this is gold, man.
Yeah, trust me, this is a man who knows that the good and the bad comes from God Almighty and must be praised in all circumstances. Yeah, so shout out to Caicedo for the week. And for my flop team of the week, not that I expected you guys to win, but it's definitely Man United. I hate your football, just letting you know.
Yeah.
I got another flop of the week, by the way. It's Loftus.
Yeah, go on.
Loftus cheap for absolutely no reason. I haven't got a reason.
Throw that one in. and,
Hey,
all
no,
the,
that's
and all the lookalikes as well.
Hey, no, that's just an attack, Jeff, man. I can't even lie.
Yeah, it is. It is. I'm worried attack, but sue me.
It is what it is.
Hey, I hope Loftus-Cheek is enjoying life in AC Milan, man. He said the other day he never got a proper chance at Chelsea, never playing his best position.
Oh,
So
you're just gonna tell outright lies?
They were playing Loftus-Cheek when we didn't know why. What is he talking about?
How many times at Arsenal last season? Why is he playing? He played centre mid. He played right wing back. Why? Hey, people shouldn't be able to get these lies off like this, man. Like just so clearly as well. Like, oh, I didn't get the chance. You're 28. You were on loan twice, and you still had a chance to come back to your parent club and play. What? All right, nah. Don't let me see that interview. I'm gonna corn you next episode if I find you.
Yeah, so yeah, man. So yeah, listen, people, it's been a great show. Fantastic engagement today. So many jokes in the chat. We love to see it, man. We're gonna be back later this week with another show. So big up always for tuning in. Make sure to smash the likes, subscribe to us on YouTube, follow us on TikTok. We're gonna start releasing some YouTube shorts as well. So do check those out. Obviously, our TikToks as usual will be up there more regularly from now on as well. And yeah, make sure to keep an eye out on our Instagram page as well for the show that Rash is going to be performing on in November. So we're going to be posting that every week. So just keep an eye of that. And anyone that lives in London looking for something to do in November with your partner or with friends, roll through. All of us from RBT are going to
Not
be
just
there
London.
to support.
Surrey too, because in Surrey it's in the Isha Theatre down in Isha. So
sorry, yeah.
This is more important to people who's got a car. It might be a late evening. But hey, listen, get down there. It's going to be a great performance from myself and others, of course. The storyline is great. It's very important to the type of times we're living through at the moment. I think there's a lot to get from it, a lot to appreciate from the dialogue within the play in itself. Tickets are £25 just for VIP, £20 standard. So get your VIPs in as soon as possible. It'll be showing from the 8th of November to the 17th. Please show up. Let us know what you think about it. Look out for the Instagram posts and the updates as well. Looking forward to seeing a lot of you guys there.
Yeah, 100%. We hope to see you all there. But as we said, we'll be back later this week with another show. Until then, look after yourselves and have a blessed evening. We out. Peace.
Salam.